You've got to have your plants in, look, because bringing the outdoors indoors. I'm here to talk about fire safety. I'm seeing a lot of posts, and I mean, I just saw one the other day by the Yorkshire Dales Instagram site about a beauty spot that was just left with litter everywhere and scorch marks in the ground. As an avid wild camper and an appreciator of the Yorkshire countryside, I thought it was my duty just to say a few words on it. And I know a lot of us don't do it on purpose, but it's maybe just a little bit of ignorance and maybe just not knowing the right techniques. And so I'm just going to give you a few pointers to hopefully you can pass them on to people, and we can help keep the countryside a little bit more country-fied. And I've just made that up, but I'm taking it. First of all, let me just say this. In summer, you shouldn't really be having a fire anyway. You might think you've squared the fire away and done everything right, but underneath the ground, in the Peak District especially, which is a very popular wild camping spot, the ground can be very peaty, and the fire can just continue under the ground without you knowing for days on end, and then it can just spring up and cause absolute devastation to the wildlife and to the scenery. If you are going to have a fire in the ground, there are certain things you can do. Test the ground first, just to make sure that it's not mulchy, there's no roots and things that might catch fire underneath the ground. Has it been raining? Is it forecast to rain? Is it bone dry? These are all things that you need to take into consideration. Move all debris, sticks, leaves, everything out of the way. Dig down, dig yourself a little pit and put the earth to one side. Have your fire, enjoy yourself a couple of monks. When you're finished, and when the fire's completely died down, you want to be dousing it with water, just more than you think you need, into like a soup, an ashy soup. And we stir it around with a stick, a proper gloopy soup. Check that there's no heat in it, and then we want to disperse that like around the area, not just in one area, because you want to be leaving no trace. As well as the safety element, you want to leave an aesthetic element as well, so you want it to look like no one's been there. Check the ground is cold before you leave. If it's not, if it's still hot, or if you feel like there still might be bits on fire or whatever it may be, just stick around. Just stick around until it's sorted. And then the soil that you've taken away, cover that back over, leaves, mulch, twigs, plant yourself a little flower, do whatever you need to do to make it look like it looked when you got there. It's good to play a little game, like if you were on the run and you were trying to evade the law or the bad guys. You want to leave it so that no one can follow you. So leave no trace that you've been there. It's a nice little game to do, especially if you're going out with the kids and stuff. It's nice to add that element of fun to it as well. If you are going to have a fire, I would recommend using some sort of stove, a metal stove, to keep it off the ground, or one of the fire pits with the legs on, just to keep it off the ground, and you'll save yourself a lot of bother with that. The main bugbear, and what we really want to be talking about, is disposable barbecues. So often you go to a beauty site and you see these square scorch marks in the ground, and I know that people might not be doing it on purpose, but people might think that that metal tray might be enough to protect it. It's not at all. It's a conductor of heat. Why we're here, why I'm here, look, it's Northern Monk. Anytime that I can do something to sort of raise awareness and teach in keeping the countryside clean and countryside safe, then I will do it. And if we can tie in a few of these bad boys in the process, all the better. I've bought myself 3 disposable barbecues, and we're going to go into the garden and test it out. We're going to put one on my grass, sacrifice. We're going to put 2 on the little metal wire rack that it came with. Not all of the disposable barbecues come with a wire rack, but this one did, so we're going to see how that fares. And then we're going to use 4 of these tinnies, see if it conducts heat and leaves 4 circular scorch marks, or whether it's the holy grail and we don't get any marks whatsoever, and we get to enjoy, well, I'll tell you how many we get to enjoy, mate. 4. That's how many it took. I did some experiments in the garden, so let's go and have a look how it turned out. They've been going for about 4.5, 5 hours, and they are still hot. If you were to throw that into a bin, that bin's going to catch fire. And so what you'll need to do is just douse it in water. Magically water appears. You see that? After all them hours. We'll go for the one with that came with the wire, and you can see there is still a scorch mark, even using the wire rack that came with it. This one, let's have a look at this. Now that is pretty bad. That's actually hot. This is the most common sight that you'll see around the beauty spots. Caned my lawn. But I did it right on the edge of the border, so I can just widen the border and get rid of that. That's fine. But if that is next to a lake or in a park or something like that, that's a scorch mark that's just staying there in it, and it's unsightly. There's a whole manner of things that can go wrong with it. See what we've got going in here. Look at that. Absolutely no sign at all. You're not just going to get a barbecue and just take a few empty cans with it. It just demonstrates that you need to lift the barbecue off the ground, whether it be with stones, bricks, whether you use, I wouldn't recommend cutting green sticks, but if you have to, some green timber and just 4 sticks, or even tent pegs. If you carry 4 tent pegs in your car or in your picnic box or whatever it is, and just use 4 tent pegs, that'll do. Anything to raise the barbecue off the ground. We're going to save having things like this in and around the beauty spots of North Yorkshire and the whole of the UK and world. There we go, a nice little experiment that. So have a little bit of fun, get yourself a few Northern monks and say, right, maybe between a few friends, get 4 of you and say, right, we can't have a barbecue until we've drank 4 cans. These are good. These are good. These are good. A fire pit, raised fire pit. You can cook on it. It's not going to scorch the ground. So if you have to, maybe just use one of these. And there we go. It's one in the win column for your cans. I recommend using some of the core range, Faith, Eternal, anything. One of these smaller ones work perfectly. But you use what you want, mate. Use a can of Tizer if it pleases you. You might not be doing it on purpose. You might just not know. But now you know that we need to raise our disposable barbecues off the ground to stop the scorch marks. And they burn for a long time. Like 5 hours they'll be going for. So when you dispose of them, make sure they're out before you dispose of them. And be mindful of where you dispose of them. If you can tell someone and if you can spread the knowledge, that's even better. It just makes it look better, doesn't it? When you go to a beauty spot or anywhere, a park or anything like that, you don't want to be seeing these little scorch marks everywhere. So if we all club together and just share the knowledge, and I think that's the key to keeping everything a little bit more tidy. Enjoy your beers, enjoy yourselves, have a wonderful summer, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. I'll go recycle these, you see, because that's that, look. See you later, bye.